So what was your reaction when you found out you were going to be a series regular?
Oh, wow. This will be a long answer. It's been my dream since I was a kid. I remember I used to watch... I had a very vivid memory of watching Smallville at the beginning of Smallville and going, whenever the opening titles came on, I thought it was so cool. And I was like, I'll never get a chance to be the lead in a CW show. Wouldn't that be cool if I could one day? I just never thought it would happen. And then I got this role on this. It was only supposed to last 2 episodes, and it kept going. But I never thought they'd make me a series regular on it. And then kind of over the seasons, they were teasing it and saying we would like to. We just got to kind of make the character more this, more that, see how the audience takes to him. And when I got the call that it was actually going through, that we were actually going to have it. Greatest moment of my life, I think. Yeah. Seriously.
And it all started with Smallville.
I did an episode of Smallville.
Which one?
Gaunt Teenage Addict, season 7, episode, something. We've come a long way.
Well, on that note, your characters had a few close calls. Was there ever any time where you thought they were going to write you off?
Absolutely. I still do. I'm a series regular now. I still think they're going to write me off. I had a nightmare two nights ago that Jason killed me off the show. Because I had a day on Monday where I didn't think I did as good as I could have done. I just immediately, my dream was that he just killed me. This episode that we're shooting right now, just a quick rewrite.
Well, tell us, where do we pick up with Murphy when the next season starts?
We pick up right where we left him, in the bunker. He's kind of there trying to figure out what's going on. He's got some food, he's got some drink, he's got it all. That's about all they're letting me say. But it won't take long in season 3 for you to pick up with Murphy and see what he does.
Can you say if he's at all intrigued by this man in the video and what he saw in the season finale?
For sure. I mean, even for Murphy, who's seen everything, a guy shooting himself on screen is still pretty... It's not something you see every day. Yeah, Murphy's curious as long as it's not getting him into trouble. If it's not leading to his death, he'll be curious as to kind of what's going on with that, and who knows, maybe there's more videos on the camera.
Seeing as he got to that bunker and the journey it took to get there, is he enjoying living in the lap of luxury, if only for a couple of minutes? Because it was nice all of a sudden he went from near dead to there's food, there's booze, there's comfortable chairs.
Yeah. No, he definitely was enjoying it. Now it's just a little bit of a shock with the video and everything, but Murphy, how long do good things last in his life? It's very brief and fleeting. If he gets a girl that he likes, she punches him in the face. He makes a friend. She wants to give him up instead of Finn. He gets a house.
It's Murphy's Law.
It's Murphy's Law. There you go. That's exactly right. That's probably why they ended up giving him that name, which they could have decided. They decided afterwards because I was John number 1 in the pilot. It was a numeral. There was 2 of us.
It's like Thunderdome.
Exactly. Only one can be. He made a good 5 episodes out of it though.
See, I just thought maybe you were the post-apocalyptic. They might be giants. John.
There you go. Well, here was the thing. I didn't think this until did anyone else pick this up when they said my father's name? Did anyone remember what it was? It was Alex Murphy. Does that strike weird to everything? RoboCop. Why do you think Murphy never dies? As soon as they said, I was like, did anyone pick up on this? And I don't think they did. But it was, RoboCop, Alex Murphy. So, of course, Murphy's not dying anytime soon. He's indestructible.
Is there anyone in the cast that you'd really like to work with in season 3?
I am so lucky as a character. I think probably more than anyone else on the show, I get to work with everyone. I've had a storyline with almost everyone on the show. Me and Marie were actually saying last night that we'd like to have some scenes together because Murphy and Octavia have never really had many scenes together, and that would be a pretty interesting. They wouldn't take each other's crap, I think, and that would be pretty cool to explore. So that. Really would love to get some scenes with Mike Beach this season, who's a new character on the show. That would be great. And honestly, for me, me and Bob Morley work really well together. So anytime we could try to get those two characters back together, get a little Murph and me thing going on, I think that might be okay.
We heard there might be a Groundling Capital. Sure, I know anything about that?
Do I know anything about that? I don't know anything about that. And you guys for sure don't walk 40 yards that way.
Yeah. Too late.
Yeah. No, I won't say anything I know about the Capitol. I will say I love kind of what they're doing with going a little further into the grounder politics of everything and seeing kind of we see a little more about the process of how a commander becomes a commander and a little bit on the backstory of that, which is very cool.
Though Murphy doesn't really like Jaha, he's also someone he knows in the immediate vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a relationship we're going to see develop this season?
I think it's a relationship we're going to see get pretty complicated if it does continue.
Okay.
But yeah, they've always had a complicated relationship. I mean, he killed my dad.
Yeah.
And then I kind of trusted him a little bit. And then he killed my friend.
Murphy's Law.
We're learning hard lessons here about
He wasn't
trust.
even wearing a red shirt. He didn't see it coming.
Through your character, are we getting to explore a new side of the planet that we haven't seen yet?
Yes.
Well, can you sort of, I mean, you're in this sort of historical place, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it all ended. You know, like, this is where it all happened. We'll look into a little bit further, I think, of what's on that island that we're on. And we do explore more of the world this season, but not just through Murphy, through everyone. The show's almost like an anthology show, weirdly, even though we keep the same characters every season. Every season is so different than the season before. Like, you can tell season 2 and season 1 were two very different seasons of television. Season 3 is the same way. Very different show, but we just keep it going through the same characters, and we'll explore more and more of that world and kind of different things, and maybe explore some things that we talked about in season 1 and 2 that you heard in passing, but we've never really looked into. Now maybe come up.
Because those storylines are so, like, disparate at times, are there, like, other storylines that you're reading that it's just completely you as, like, a fan because you're not really getting to act in them?
Yeah. No, that happened last year, too, when I would forget things that happened in other storylines when I was live tweeting and watching the show come out, and I was like, what? No! They died? No wonder I didn't see them for the last 2 months of the season. Yeah, no, there's some awesome storylines going on. Mine's the best.
Obviously.
That's not even biased, I'm just telling you a fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love it. I love it.
Cool.
Murphy's storylines are very cool this season and very spans large distance.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a journey.
Well,
Are we talking like it's a journey because we all have to walk everywhere? Or are we talking like the kind of journey where it would be long for us with cars?
Talking a mental journey? Can I get away with saying that?
Fine.
Yeah. Mentally, it's tasking on him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned tweeting. Has it surprised you how the fans have really taken to Murphy?
Yes and no. After season 1, I never would have expected them to, but then when they told me what we were doing with him, no longer was I surprised. Jason asked me, he's like, do you think you could get them to like you? Do you want to be a series regular? Because we think we need to make you a little more likable for CW to go for it if we're actually going to do it. And I was like, give me one scene, I'll get them to like me. It's easy. It can happen. We can do this.
And what scene was it that you think won people over?
I think a lot of the people came around on the Murphy and Raven scene. Nothing like a teardrop to get people really on your side. That scene, but then there was a lot of people who were holding out who still didn't like me after that, which I respected. And then it was the desert storyline, I think, with Jaha that got a lot of people kind of into him. They we brought out a little more of the comedic side of Murphy and get a few laughs and still understand that he's still an asshole, but he's kind of he's an asshole you kind of like sometimes. So I think a lot of people came around on the desert storyline, which is pretty cool.
Have you been able to do more of that comedic stuff in season 3?
I think we cater to it a little bit, that we do a little comedic stuff. I'm actually sort of, was at the end of season 2, I wanted to pull back from it a little bit and kind of, we're finding out new things about Murphy all the time, and now I just want to bring all of it together. Even season 1 Murphy, like I want to bring that animalistic guy back, because I miss him.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Raven Murphy scene and how it turned some of the fans onto his side. We learned a little bit about his backstory there. Will we learn more about his life prior to season 1?
I'd love to know more about Murphy's kind of life, because I don't even know what he was imprisoned for. I've had to make it up in my head a few times.
What do you go to?
Public urination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was because of the whole Connor thing. I was like, he just seems used to it, and I peed on him. It was like, this is something he's done before. My whole thing was like, he peed on the last tree, which was like a huge deal.
A little bonsai tree.
It made the arc daily, like 5 days in a row.
So as we pick up back with your character, is a lot of what we're going to see with him sort of a solo stuff, a solo storyline where he's not connected with the other characters?
I think because I do a very good job on the show so far. Murphy does, of kind of being a great accessory to other people's storylines. You just plug them in anywhere, and I think he makes the storyline very interesting and kind of brings his own element to it. But you haven't seen him have his own storyline, and I think this season we kind of edged towards that a little bit more, of him being more, again, like a serious regular and the lead, and having his own agenda and his own things that he's pushing.
His own agenda.
Question,
Yeah.
guys. Will we get to see him interacting with the Allie character at all?
Well, they're all on the same island.
They are.
They are.
They're very close.
Very well. It's a big island.
Okay.
We'll find out. I don't know if I can say.
Okay.